This week on Music Worth Buying, we'll be checking out the second album by the lone Bellow, Then Came the Morning.
And Beyond Belief, a tribute to Elvis Costello.
Hey there, this is TJR, and I'm a musician and a music writer.
And my name is Robert Kinsler, and I'm a music writer and a musician.
Yes, yes, well stated. Okay, so we're here again with some albums that we've selected for the show here that we just have to recommend to you, or we're going to burst and we'll explode. So I'm going to start off here with the second album by the lone Bellow entitled Then Came the Morning. Now, I first featured their first album on the show here on our old channel. I featured their first album and was absolutely knocked out by it and loved it. Now, while I don't feel that this second album is as strong as the first album, this is by no means a sophomore slump album at all. This is a very strong album, very good album. It is more straightforward, I think, than the last album, which I think was more ethereal sounding, had more of this wide open space feel to it, really just kind of put you in this kind of like otherworldly mood, in my opinion. Whereas here, it's just, the songs are more straightforward, and the band even actually does something they didn't do on the first album. They rock out on a couple tracks and rock out hard. It's great to hear, and I hope they do more of it in the future. So let's go ahead and check out a track here. This is a song, it's called Take My Love, and I describe this song as a song that U2 should have recorded.
Okay.
Or the best song, or a great song that U2 hasn't recorded yet. So, but no, great track. Here we go. Let's check it out.
Oh, I miss you when it's cold out. Church bells ring, I hear you sing. You're no broken record turning. You're a wild melody. I know I might not be the one you take. Take my love. Take my...
You know, that's my first listen. Just like you said, just really dynamic. Just, you know, there's atmosphere in there, but it's also kind of unbridled, just, you know, rocking energy, and just sounds really good.
Yeah, and I don't consider this to be one of the more rocked out tracks, but they're definitely moving in. There's definitely some energy and some force and some power here, and it's much more straightforward than the last album, in my opinion. And I think I gave this, when I did a first reaction review, I gave it 3.5 out of 5. Had I been doing the ratings on when the first album came out, I would have said 4 out of 5. Yeah. So that's the difference, just a half a star, really, in my opinion, as far as my reaction to comparing the two, really. But yeah, I think it's a really strong album. Now, this album comes in, like the last one, comes in the standard jewel case here, front and back cover. Here we go. And this does come with a booklet. While there are some great photos, there's also a lot of good photos in this within the booklet here, which is a fold-out actually. Unfortunately, lyrics are almost impossible to read.
Even when you get them close to the camera, you can see it's small.
Man, I gave up. I just gave up. I couldn't read them. So they lose a few points on packaging for me on this because I really can't read those lyrics. It's a strain. Yeah. But you know, like I said, musically, you know, that's the most important thing. It's always nice when I can read the lyrics and be able to read as I'm listening. Right. But you know, I'll have to look them up on the internet as soon as they're available. They're not always available right away. When you first listen to the album, it takes a little while for them to get up there on the internet to find them on the lyric websites. But I definitely will be doing that as soon as they're available. Yeah. But a solid album in my opinion still. This is no sophomore slump. On this particular album, on the last album, there was a lot more instrumentation. This album, they pared it down to what they felt they needed to tour with live, though you'd hardly notice that they had somehow used less instrumentation, because it sounds as full and as rich as the last album, in my opinion. Yeah, this song certainly does, So I'm going to play another track here. I'm going to play what's a little more less typical of this album. I'm going to play what I think is just the heaviest rockin' song on the album. This is not something they're known for, certainly not from the last album, and I hope they do more of this sort of thing. This is called Heaven Don't Call Me Home. Here we go.
heaven don't call me home. Georgia will, I'm on my 6th Street soapbox, flat top, dress to kill. Send me down Carolina by the 405. Don't share the tip of me, son, I'll be fine. I'm dead and gone, heaven coming home. Damn sure Georgia will. So grab your company.
You know, again, I'm just listening to this going, wow, this is just fantastic. I saw the Lone Bellow at the Stagecoach Festival. I think it's been about a couple of years ago, and this is very different from that, but it's great to see the band, they're growing, trying something different here. Yeah, they're stretching out, which is, we've talked about that before. You know, a good band shouldn't sit still in place. I mean, probably the two exceptions are the Ramones and AC/DC.
Yeah.
They've been great, or were great throughout their entire careers without basically doing too much different. But most artists need to develop and expand and stretch and stuff, or else they quit being relevant, and I think they get bored too.
Yeah.
And the audience gets bored. This is fantastic. I love this.
Good. I'm glad you like it. Glad you like it. Yeah. And anyways, though, so but yeah, like I said before, just a great solid album. I don't think there's any real bad tracks on it. I may not have reacted as strongly to it as I did the first one, but it's still a strong album. It's not a sophomore slump.
Yeah, and I want to thank you, because when you brought the first album on the show, that's why when I went to Stagecoach, I made sure to go check them out, and I caught their entire set and was very impressed. And
Good.
And then I went out and purchased their album after that. So I want to thank you very much.
Oh, my pleasure. So tell us about what you got here.
Well, actually, speaking of ambition and speaking about, you know, like stretching and doing all that, what we have here is Beyond Belief, which is an amazing, it's an outstanding tribute to the music of Elvis Costello. This is 50 different artists recording 50 of Elvis Costello's different songs across 3 CDs. You can't, I mean, you can see I've opened it here. You can't even really see, I mean, unless, you know, I simply can't get them all on here, but it's amazing. You have everything from well-known artists like Matthew Sweet to people that are probably known, like, to their regional fans, like a band like the Tickets or something like that. But it's just a great collection. I can't, you know, Elvis Costello is such a great songwriter.
Yes, he is.
For 4 decades, he's been just crafting and writing these amazing songs. And oftentimes he works with other people, like he's done with Burt Bacharach or Paul McCartney. And a lot of those songs in those periods are captured across this collection too. So, you know, it's almost hard to say just select 2 songs.
Yeah.
But we kind of have to do that. But I think before I forget, I want to say that this project came about when the 2 producers of the project, John Borak and Olivia Frayne, I guess they had seen Elvis Costello. This is off the top of my head. I think back in 2012 or something, and they said, God, somebody ought to do a tribute. And sure enough, they started putting it together. It took them, who knows how long it took them, but obviously some time to collect all these recordings, get all these artists to record versions of...
Well, it sounds like it took a couple years.
Yeah, it had to have taken a couple years. So it is very amazing. So I think what we'll do is we'll just pick a couple songs that sound very different from each other to highlight those. And let's go ahead and start with Rob Smith's version of Girls Talk, and we'll listen to a little bit of that one.
Okay. Cool.
Thought I heard you mention my name. Can't you talk any louder? Don't come any closer. Don't come any nearer. My vision of you can't come any clearer. Oh, I just wanna hear girls talk. Got a load in the...
Now that's Girls Talk, and truth be told, Elvis Costello did write that song, but my memory is the first time I heard it was Dave Edmunds singing it, and this version from Rob Smith does very much mirror that arrangement, kind of a more straightforward power pop arrangement. And you know, the cool thing about this with Rob Smith is it's produced, I think, by Michael Carpenter, who's a well-known power pop singer-songwriter in his own right. And this album boasts a lot of that. It has a lot of people from the power pop and musical universe that kind of join up and support each other, and it's kind of neat. And they're doing that all obviously because of their common shared love for Elvis Costello and how great he is. And like I said, this is a very neat package here. I mean, you can see it. I mean, it's pretty ambitious here.
Yeah.
And
large fold-out.
Large fold-out. Has 3 audio CDs, 50 songs in total, and it is issued by Spider Pop Records, and comes with a very nice booklet. They don't have all the lyrics. I mean, there are 50 songs, but it has
I think they assume you know these songs already because Elvis has already done them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it has neat liner notes that Olivia and John write kind of how the metamorphosis of this project, and then it goes through the credits, who does what on each of the 50 tracks. So, and like I said, there is really such a great range of material here, and I thought what we do now is really kind of turn things totally around. There's so many great songs on here, but what I wanted to do this next one, I guess what we'll do is we'll go ahead and play Matthew Sweet, because him doing Allison, everybody knows Allison, and many people know Matthew Sweet, so I thought let's play a little bit of that song.
I'm curious. It's one of my favorite Elvis Costello songs, so I'm curious to hear this version.
'Cause I don't know if you were loving somebody, I only know it isn't mine. Allison, I know this world is killing you.
And that is Matthew Sweet, a great artist in his own right, covering Allison.
Great song.
Yeah, a great song. And actually, everybody's used to kind of Matthew Sweet on the guitar and kind of, just rocking out, just kind of this in your face. And here it's very different. He's at the piano, and it's just his vocals, even, I think the harmonies are even just him harmonizing with himself. And just a very beautiful rendition. And again, it just shows the power of these songs. Like you could probably do these songs a myriad of different ways, and they're still going to work because they're good songs.
Yeah, and I've heard other people do this song before. Linda Ronstadt, if I'm not mistaken, Linda Ronstadt did a rendition of this song. A lot of big name artists were covering Elvis Costello songs when he first hit the music scene with his first couple albums. Right at the very beginning, a lot of major artists, even though maybe Elvis Costello himself wasn't getting that much radio airplay at that point yet, a lot of major artists were immediately covering his songs because they were just recognizing these are great songs.
Yeah, they are,
and they were remaking them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now he has, and he continues to do great music today.
Oh,
I mean, as hard it is to believe. I mean, like I said, he's been around for 40 years.
Yeah.
Time goes by, but it's great that he's being acknowledged and celebrated with a wonderful collection like Beyond Belief, because this is a good one.
It's high time, because he's one of the world's premier singer-songwriters.
Oh, very much so.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's a long time coming.
It is. Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, thanks for bringing that in.
Yeah, and thanks for bringing in the Lone Bellow. I mean, what a great trio they are. Yeah.
They are.
Yeah.
And so once again, folks, if you've had a chance to check out these albums, please let us know what you think. And let us know what your suggestions are as to what we might cover in the future, if there's some new releases that you feel we may have not checked out yet. Until next time, I'm TJR. You can check out my music at tjrmusic.com. Please join my mailing list. I'll send you some free MP3s.
And my name is Robert Kinsler, and you can read more of my work at ocregister.com, at musicworthbuying.com, and of course at musicnewsnashville.com.
Yes, and my solo reviews are here at the channel. And so we thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thank you for sharing this on Facebook and Twitter. And we'll look forward to seeing you next time.
Hey, see you later, everybody.
All right, bye.